The show begins with a flashback to 2013, where we meet mob leader Seo Ta-pyung and his son Seo Jae-won. After defeating a rival gang called the Kitty Gang, Seo Jae-won takes over his father's position. He strengthens his organization by beating other gangs, eventually dismantling the Bulldog Gang and disappearing. Jumping to 2023, Seo Jae-won is now the CEO of a meat company called Thirsty Deer. While Jae-won is staying at a monastery, his workers, who look like ex-criminals, find rotten meat in a warehouse and call Jae-won. They tell him about Go Yang-hee, his father's former right-hand man. Jae-won gives them instructions, but the monks get upset because the call disturbs the peace and they have to leave. Meanwhile, Go Eun-ha is hurrying to a location while talking to her friend on the phone. She thinks her friend is in danger, so she rushes over in her police uniform. But when she arrives, she realizes her friend just wanted her to come to Club Cat, and Yeong-ha sneaks past the guards. At the same time, Jae-won goes to Club Cat to find his employee, Jung Yoon-tak, who is a drug addict and didn't show up to work. He fears Yoon-tak may have relapsed. Inside the club, Jae-won and Eun-ha bump into each other when Jae-won catches her as she almost falls. Eun-ha drops some candies after accidentally colliding with a waiter. Later, Jae-won confronts the club manager when he catches an employee putting drugs into a whiskey bottle, causing the employee to drop it. The club manager starts beating up the employee and Jae-won steps in to stop him. Just then, Eun-ha and her friend arrive and someone in the crowd notices Eun-ha's police uniform and pushes her into the center. Jae-won, who is helping the employee up, gets involved. Eun-ha mistakenly thinks Jae-won hurt the employee, so she puts fake handcuffs on him. Suddenly, the real police arrive. Eun-ha and her friend use the chaos to sneak away. The police assume Jae-won is guilty and take him outside, but when they realize the handcuffs are fake, they let him go. The next day, we find out that Eun-ha is a content creator for a company called Macaron Soft. The police uniform was just a costume for her latest video. Her boss gets mad at her because she forgot to include the product promotion in the video and complains that the product is too expensive for kids. He warns her that if she keeps ignoring his instructions, he won't renew her contract. Meanwhile, Jae-won is having breakfast with his men and one of them tells him about a new drug on the market that the Kitty Gang is interested in. The drug looks like the candies that Eun-ha dropped at Club Cat, so Jae-won starts to think that she works for Yang-hee. Later that day, Eun-ha is working part-time when she notices a restaurant that catches her eye. She walks toward it, lost in thought, but snaps out of it when she sees Jae-won leaving the restaurant. Remembering their earlier meeting, she quickly hides. Jae-won stands outside the restaurant, calling out to someone. Eun-ha mistakenly thinks he's calling her, but Jae-won is actually calling a child who had stolen money from the restaurant since the owner left it unattended. Eun-ha misunderstands and thinks Jae-won is trying to take money from the kid, so she hits him on the head and runs away. After enjoying his dumplings and chatting with the elderly woman who owns the shop, Jae-won leaves and bumps into Eun-ha again. A drunk person pulls off Eun-ha's mascot hat, revealing her face to Jae-won. He recognizes her and chases after her. When he catches up, Jae-won asks her about the candy drugs, but Eun-ha insists they're just kids' candies. Jae-won doesn't believe her, so she takes him to the shop, where he sees her getting fired for causing trouble. Frustrated, Eun-ha grabs a handful of the candies from her bag and eats them. Jae-won panics, thinking they are drugs, and forces her to spit them out. The confusion is cleared up later at the hospital when a test proves they are just candies, not drugs. That night, Eun-ha talks to her friend about the incident and mentions someone named Hyun-woo, whom she hasn't seen in 23 years. The next day, we meet a public prosecutor named Jang Hyun-woo, who is going to question a former gang leader about an incident at his church. Hyun-woo believes that people, especially criminals, can't change. On the other hand, Jae-won thinks that people can change if they're given a chance. That's why all the board members of his company, Thirsty Deer, are ex-convicts. Jae-won holds a board meeting to talk about Yoon-tak's situation. After the meeting, the department heads stay behind to introduce new products. These include Man-ho, the chief of product development, Hong-ki, the chief of marketing, Jae-soo, the chief of customer relations, the youngest executive, Dong-hui, and director general Ju Il-yeong. Il-yeong feels the new product's branding might not work, so they decide to do a customer survey at a kids' festival. At the same time, Eun-ha will be attending the same festival as her company's representative. Jae-won and Il-yeong also have a meeting with Sung-joon from Yeojin Department Store to discuss a partnership. During the meeting, Sung-joon insults Jae-won's company for hiring ex-convicts. By the end of the meeting, Jae-won surprises Sung-joon by revealing that the CEO of their company supplies some of Yeojin's favorite foods. Later, Jae-won has to rush to the kids' festival because Jae-soo got into a fight with a parent. The parent refused to let his son taste their sausage, claiming it was made by ex-convicts. At the festival, Eun-ha and Jae-won run into each other again while she's hosting a fun cooking session with the kids. On her way back from the restroom, Eun-ha notices too much flour on the floor and grabs a broom to clean it up. In the process, she accidentally hits Jae-won with a broom handle. He loses his balance and falls down the stairs when Eun-ha lets go of his hand to hide her face. The episode ends with Jae-won lying unconscious on the stairs. Eun-ha is shocked, while Jae-won's employees are panicking, unsure of what to do next. Ji-won is taken to the hospital with 2 broken ribs and a concussion. He has to stay there for a few days, and after his men leave, he starts thinking about Eun-ha. Curious, Jae-won searches the internet and finds out that Eun-ha is a kid's content creator known as Ms. Minnie. He watches all of her videos on WetTube and finishes them. Meanwhile, prosecutor Hyun-woo is also watching Eun-ha's videos while relaxing at home with a cup of coffee. The next day at work, Hyun-woo sees a colleague leaving her child alone in the hallway, so he takes the child to his team's office to look after her. Chifo catches Hyun-woo's attention by mentioning the incident at Club Cat and how Jae-won ended up at the police station. While Chifo thinks it was just a small incident, Hyun-woo believes there's more to it because Jae-won was arrested at Yang-hee's club, who is Jae-won's rival. Back at the hospital, after watching Eun-ha's latest video about making bubbles, Jae-won starts hallucinating. He imagines Eun-ha appearing as floating bubbles all around his room, and he runs around trying to pop them. When Eun-ha visits Jae-won at the hospital, he mistakes her for one of the bubbles and almost hurts her. Meanwhile, Jae-won's men are discussing who Eun-ha might be and why she attacked their boss. They come to the conclusion that she's a dangerous woman sent by Yang-hee to assassinate Jae-won. Jae-won's men visit him at the hospital while Eun-ha is still there, and he quickly hides her under a blanket. She listens as they talk about how to punish her, thinking she's a spy for the Kitty Gang, pretending to be a content creator for the Macaron Soft Gang. Jae-won firmly tells his men not to touch Eun-ha, then sends them out of the room so she can sneak away. Later, Eun-ha discovers that her company has uploaded a nasty video attacking Jae-won's company without her permission. The video has already gone viral with millions of views, and CEO Ma is happy about it. However, Eun-ha is upset because the video goes against her values. Her co-workers and even the comments on her channel criticize her for posting such a video on a kid's content channel. The video damages Jae-won's company's reputation. They lose partnerships, stores stop selling their products, and customers begin boycotting Thirsty Deer. When Eun-ha tries to log in and clarify this situation, she finds out her password has been changed, so she can't leave a comment. Jae-won and Il-yeong arrive at Eun-ha's company with a lawsuit for slander, financial loss, and emotional harm. CEO Ma and director Lee shift the blame onto Eun-ha, which makes Jae-won misunderstand her again. Still, he stops CEO Ma from firing Eun-ha and agrees to drop the lawsuit if they remove the video from the internet completely. Hyun-ha chases after Jae-won as he leaves, trying to explain, but he doesn't listen. He accuses her of attacking his company and employees for money and even offers to give her the money she wants, which makes her feel hurt. As Jae-won is leaving, he runs into one of Eun-ha's coworkers, Kang Yi-na, who seems to recognize him and tries to follow, but he's already gone. The next day, Thirsty Deer is busy as everyone tries to deal with the current situation. The customer care center is getting a lot of calls, and rumors are spreading that the company adds drugs to their sausages. Just when they feel like they can't take it anymore, more videos are posted online by an unknown person. These videos show the original footage from the kids' event. Jae-won watches them and feels sorry for what he sent to Eun-ha. She took the original footage from director Lee and shared it online to help clear the company's name. Later, Jae-won sees Eun-ha arrive at the hospital and quietly follows her. He's impressed to see that she volunteers at the hospital to spend time with the kids. After her volunteer work, Eun-ha goes to Jae-won's room with a gift. When no one answers the door, she leaves the gift outside. Afterwards, she buys some beers at the supermarket and sits at the bus stop to drink alone. Jae-won, who saw her leave the supermarket, follows her again. This time, they talk things out and apologize to each other. The next day, Mae-ho and Eun-ha plan a picnic. Mae-ho says it would be a good day to run into Hyun-woo. Coincidentally, Eun-ha and Hyun-woo meet at a crosswalk, but she doesn't recognize him. She gets distracted when she sees a news story about kids getting poisoned after drinking milk. Hyun-woo tries to help Eun-ha because the light has turned red, but she runs away, jumps into a taxi, and rushes up the stairs into a patient's room. Earlier, she had given a child 2 packets of milk during her volunteer work, and she wants to check if he's okay. On her way out, Eun-ha sees many children being brought into the hospital, so she goes into the emergency department to find out what's going on. One of the parents recognizes her and blames her for promoting the milk as safe to drink on her channel, which is why they bought it. The parents yell at her, asking how she plans to take responsibility if anything happens to their children. Another parent throws a carton of milk at Eun-ha while she is already on the floor, but Jae-won suddenly shows up and protects her. The episode ends with everyone looking around, wondering who Jae-won is, while he squats down and tells Eun-ha to close her eyes and count to 10. Jae-won saves Eun-ha from embarrassment when the milk carton thrown by the angry parent hits him instead. He carries Eunha out of the hospital after telling the parents to save the rest of the milk cartons and throw them at the company that made them. Outside the hospital, Eunha gets upset and wants to go back inside because she blames herself for the children getting sick. Jae-won tries to comfort her, telling her not to blame herself, but she insists, so he steps aside to let her go back. That's when he notices she's limping. Suv and Il-yeong arrives with a car to pick them up. On the way, Eunha blames herself for trusting the company and agreeing to promote their products because she thought they were good people. She says this is the second time she's made the same mistake. Il-yeong drops Eunha off at Mayho's place. He gives her his card and tells her to call anytime she needs a ride. Jae-won starts making silly comments about the stains on his coat, and Eunha offers to take it to the dry cleaners for him. Mayho stops Eunha from watching the news about the milk poisoning. Eunha explains to Mayho that she started making children's videos to be a friend for lonely kids, just like Hyunwoo was her friend when she was a child. The next day, Eunha returns to the hospital to check on the kids who got sick. The doctor tells her that all but one child has gone home. Eunha meets the mother of the girl who is still in the hospital, and after a heartfelt conversation, the mother thanks Eunha for keeping her daughter company while she was busy and apologizes for blaming her. At her company, everyone blames Eunha for the video, saying it was her choice to promote the milk. Because of this, Eunha decides to take a break from work. On her way out, she runs into Yina, who teases her about losing her job and asks if she wants a cleaning job instead. Yina then asks about Jae-won and is happy to see that Eunha doesn't know much about him. Later, Yina arrives at Jae-won's company just as Dong-hee reports on how they helped the parents of the sick kids by getting them VIP rooms at the hospital and money to start a lawsuit. Yina is there to make payments on a loan Jae-won gave her 8 years ago. She seems sure that Jae-won knows her from TV and remembers her from the incident 8 years ago. However, Jae-won shows no interest in her and asks Dong-hee to show her out. Meanwhile, Hyunwoo calls Eunha because she's a witness to what happened at Club Cat. At first, Eunha thinks he is a scammer, but she hangs up as soon as she realizes it's a call from the prosecutor's office. Jae-won arrives at Cat Hotel and demands to speak with Yang-hee. He wants to find out about the drug from Thailand and where Yoon-tak is. Jae-won vows to bring Yoon-tak back before leaving the hotel. Il-yeong finds him stressed out and hiding in the gym. They talk about Yoon-tak and how he stopped using drugs after learning about his younger brother, who lives with their grandmother. Il-yeong recently visited their house and saw that Yoon-tak had been visiting often to help take care of things and fix up the house. Jae-won can't sleep well when he finds out that Eunha's channel is not active anymore. The next morning, he complains to Il-yeong about why Eunha hasn't called him about the coat, so Il-yeong goes to Mayho's hair salon to learn where Eunha is and takes the coat to her. Meanwhile, Eunha takes the house cleaning job from Yina. She spends the whole day cleaning Yina's house. In the evening, Yina brings 2 of their colleagues over to make fun of Eunha. However, Eunha doesn't react and leaves the house, making Yina chase after her. Jae-won is walking into the building when he sees Eunha leaving, so he hides behind a pillar. He overhears Yina and Eunha talking, and Yina admits that she brought the 2 girls to embarrass Eunha. Eunha asks Yina why she hates her, and Yina replies that it's because she thinks Eunha doesn't take being an influencer seriously. Yina then spots Jae-won hiding and calls him out. Eunha thinks Jae-won is there for Yina, so she walks away. He tries to follow her, but Yina stops him. Afterward, Eunha goes to a roadside restaurant for food and drinks and is surprised when Jae-won shows up. She asks if he likes Yina too, saying that she would like her content. Jae-won replies that he doesn't subscribe to Yina's channel, but he likes another channel that is no longer active. Eunha starts to feel tipsy and tells Jae-won that she hates mobsters the most because they always leave things broken when they come to her house. The broken things can't be fixed and all she can do is throw them away. She accidentally mentions that Jae-won would have liked her if she were a mobster. Jae-won agrees and says he would have liked her too. After their chat, Jae-won takes a glass of alcohol and ends up getting really drunk. Eunha tries to help him walk, but he is too heavy. She calls a taxi, but when she turns around, he is gone. Eunha searches for Jae-won and finds him at a children's park. He acts completely different there, and Eunha is surprised by how playful he is. He happily tries all the rides like the merry-go-round, slide, seesaw, and swings. While they sit on the swings, Eunha remembers a similar moment from her childhood with Hyunwoo. She and Jae-won chase each other around the park until they are tired. They lie down on the grass together, looking at the stars. At the end of the episode, Jae-won asks Eunha to keep making her videos even while she takes a break because he wants to see them.